Hey guys, thanks for clicking on my video. It's been forever, but I wanted to step out of my comfort zone just a little bit and pop in just to give a brief update as to what's been going on. I'm not going to go into full detail, but basically, because of health reasons, I'm now at high risk, so I've been having to stay away from the stores, and staying out of the stores means shopping online. And so since this channel is based on hauls, reviews, and DIYs, there was but so much content that I can provide. So my channel has taken a hit and it has been slowly dying. So I'm trying to make a comeback to save my channel here, and I was able to put together a few DIYs to end out the fall season with a bang. It's kind of a pun on everything that's been going on in 2020 and all the craziness. So if you're a real one and you stick around to the end, please comment a little margarita emoji in the comment. You'll know why once you watch the video. I'm pretty sure my 3-year-old toddler will be eager to see new content on my channel. Finally, poor thing has been playing my old videos on playback. So Emmy, if you're watching, baby girl, this is for you, my heartbeat. So that's it, guys. In a nutshell, that's my little update. If you're new here, I would love it if you stayed and subscribed to my channel. Introduce yourself in the comments down below. Don't forget to tap the bell for notifications so that you can be notified each time I upload. And share this video if you can. Until next time, my YouTube fan, I'm sending you warm hugs and wishes from a socially safe distance. And let's see what I got going on in this video. Bye now. From the Dollar Tree, you're going to want to grab yourself one of these here carvable pumpkins and some tools of choice, a pair of scissors and a scraper, of course some paint, and I have this here folk art chalk paint, but feel free to use any paint of choice. I have some wooden stems here in a baggie that I purchased at Dollar Tree, and I also have a vinyl decal that I cut using my Cricut. And so now, by the magic and power of YouTube, through the magic of YouTube, now that my pumpkin is all nicely painted and completely dried, I can now move on to adding my vinyl decal. So obviously I created this vinyl for another project that was a fail. So I am going to be repurposing it on this here pumpkin. So we're going to have to size it down and make it work. So what I'm showing you here is that I'm just going to be giving it a snip right below that mask and above the year 2020, and we're going to size it down and we're going to make it work, guys. I'm going to make this work. So because this vinyl is flat and we're adding it to a textured round surface, I went ahead and gave it a few snips on the bottom, on the top, and on the sides. This way I can easily smooth out that vinyl to get it to adhere onto the surface. So now for the moment of truth, I'm going to be peeling up that transfer tape to reveal my vinyl image, and I'm coming in at a diagonal ever so slowly, taking my time and pulling up on that transfer tape. And I'm not going to kid you, this is making me a little bit nervous because I'm scared of peeling up the paint and damaging the vinyl. And it appeared that that eyelash wanted to come up, but nothing to it but to push it right back down. And I'm going to continue pushing through until I can get that entire transfer tape up, and woof, what a relief. So satisfying. Okay, so now it's time to attach that bottom half of the decal onto the pumpkin, and as you see, it's just barely making the cut, and I'm just going to try to aim to center it to the best of my ability right directly underneath that mask. And I'm probably going to have to come in and give it a couple of snips with the scissors just like I did to the mask portion, but that's okay. Like I said, we're going to make. So while my hot glue gun is heating up, I'm going to go on ahead and remove the remainder of this transfer tape to reveal my image. And just like that, our transfer is complete. So stinking cute. So now all that's left to do is to apply the little stem to the top once my glue gun finishes heating up. So now for the cherry on top of the cake, I'm going to be adding a nice generous dollop of glue to the tip of that stem, and I'm going to be applying it right smack dab in the center of my pumpkin and calling it a finished product because that's all she wrote. And I'm naming her Quarantina because she is indeed a diva. So for project number 2, you're only going to need 3 items. You're going to need an X-Acto knife, another one of these carvable pumpkins, and you're going to need a bandana, and that's it. So we're going to start by popping out that stem, which is simply attached by a toothpick, and then you're going to pop open your X-Acto knife and carve a hole in the center of the pumpkin. These are carvable pumpkins, and they're made out of styrofoam, so it's not that hard. So to make my life a little bit easier, I sketched out a circle using my Sharpie marker to give my X-Acto knife some guidance and a sense of direction to go off of. So after removing that disc from the center of the carvable pumpkin, this is what you should be left with. It's completely hollow on the inside, and this is exactly what you want. So brace yourself for how simple this process is. So you're going to simply open up your bandana and lay it down flat. And you're going to place your carvable pumpkin in the center. And you're going to go by that focal point guideline that's in the center and turn it to the corner. And you're going to start at a diagonal. And you're going to simply take your bandana and tuck. And that's all there is to it. You're going to tuck and turn and tuck and turn. And you're going to continue this process until you run out of fabric. Once you get down to the last of the fabric, you're going to tuck it down until you make it disappear. You're going to have that pumpkin eat up the rest of that fabric until there is no more and your pumpkin is done. So there you have it. This is what you should be left with. A complete no sew, no glue, no nothing fabric pumpkin. And so now you're just going to go ahead and apply that stem to the center and just shove it in there. Feel free to add glue to make it more secure, but it's such a snug fit that I didn't find it necessary. So let's run down the list of supplies for DIY number 3. So I have this chalkboard roll of paper that I picked up at the Target dollar spot, and I paid $3 for it. And I just simply traced out a square and cut it down to size. And I have my glue stick to adhere my little square. And of course, surprise, surprise, I have another little vinyl decal that I cut using my Cricut. And then I have this little decor box that just says fresh eggs daily, and I purchased this at the Dollar Tree, and I'm showing you here that it had like a little rooster ornament on the top that I didn't like, so I just snapped it off and sanded it down. And this is just another really easy DIY. No painting, no nothing. I just simply have to adhere the paper to the box and I'm good to go. So let's get that paper tacked down inside the decor box, and I'm simply just going to run my glue stick all along the sides and in the center and get that paper nice and tacky so that I can just apply it right inside my decor box, smooth it out and let it dry, and I should be ready to move on to the next step. Alright, so now it's time to apply the vinyl, and I'm simply just going to do that by removing the transfer tape from the backing as such, and I'm going to peel it off from the corner, make sure to get that entire vinyl image up, and I'm going to just eyeball this, guys. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here, no measuring, no nothing, just trying to get it as centered as possible and smack it down inside that decor box. Now to get that transfer tape up and reveal our image, I'm going to come in at the corner with my little Dollar Tree tool, and I'm just going to peel up ever so slowly at the corner, trying really hard not to tear the paper because paper and glue and adhesives aren't always the best of friends, kind of like oil and vinegar, if you will. So this is in real time here, and I'm slowly but carefully trying to Peel that transfer tape up to reveal that image, and once again it's a success. Hooray, quarantine and chill, lovely. And this was such an easy decor piece to put together, perfect for tiered trays or anywhere you want to display it. Really quick and easy. 1, 2, 3. So this was another box decor that I purchased from the Dollar Tree, and it had a little ornament on the top as well of a little house that I snapped off, and I filled it in with some wood fill, sanded it, and gave it a nice coat of paint on both sides to give it that finished look. And so now I'm going to go ahead and apply another vinyl decal. And if you haven't already guessed by the title, I'm going for a quarantine theme here. And so this is what we're doing. Once again, standard procedure, I'm going to lift that transfer sheet off of its backing to place my image down on my decor box. No tools necessary. I'm simply eyeballing it, flying by the seat of my pants as per usual, and I'm going to try to center my image to the best of my ability and get it down onto that decor box and smoothing out that vinyl. So to adhere our image, I'm simply going over it with my little Cricut scraping tool as such. And so this time around, I'm not even nervous or worried about pulling up that transfer tape and having to worry about ripping the paper underneath. And it's always just so completely satisfying to me whenever I can peel up that transfer tape and one clean sweep like this. It's just like the epitome of removing painter's tape from a project without any bleedage or seepage, if you will. And it's just so satisfying. So now for the latest addition to the quarantine theme, Stay at Home Club, established 2020. DIY number 5 are these here little Dollar Tree pumpkin wooden decor plaques. Now these I had in my craft arsenal since last year, and what drew me to them was that these don't have any of that glitter fallout, so I pulled them back out this year again to upcycle them. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to hit them with a coat of this here folk art chalk paint. So to begin, I'm going to start by removing these little raffia ribbons from all of my little pumpkin decor plaques. And just a little FYI, these are back at the Dollar Tree again this year with different wordage and sayings on them. Just know to look carefully because most of them are a bunch of glitter bombs. So if you're not into the glitter, be on the lookout for that. So I'm going to come in and hit these little decor plaques with some of this here folk art chalk paint. Nothing to it but to do it. I'm just going to pour some of this paint into my little palette here, and I'm going to go over my little plaques. So I didn't bother to sand them down or anything because it's not like they had glitter on them or anything like that. However, in hindsight, thinking back, I wish I would have, because they kind of have like a glossy finish or sheen to them. So I did have to end up doing several coats. But I ended up painting both front and back in case I wanted to make my sign double-sided. So here's what you should be left with once you've achieved your desired coverage. And I did go ahead and paint the stems black on each of the little wooden blocks, and I did give it 2 full coats on each side. So now I went and pre-cut 4 strips of this ribbon, and I just had it in my stash. This is a ribbon that I purchased off of Amazon, and I just had it in my craft stash. So I went and cut off 4 pieces to tie to the top of my stems, and I'm just going to go in and I'm going to tie a regular knot on each individual little pumpkin decor block. And that's it. I'm going to tie one on all of the pumpkins so that we can move on to the next step. And it's just a simple, just like tying your shoelace, and that's it. So here's a look at what you should be left with once you've tied all those ribbons to the stems. And I did go ahead and dovetail the ends. So now for the fun part, we're going to move on to the next step, which is to adhere some of these vinyl decals that I did go ahead and cut with my cutting machine. Now to correlate this project with the rest of my quarantine crafts and have them all be cohesive, I went and I cut out these numbers 2020. However, the zero is a pun on the whole quarantine situation with the toilet paper. So they're little toilet paper rolls. So as with all my other projects before, you know the drill, and I'm just going to be eyeballing it and placing these vinyl decals down on my little wooden decor plaques. Now, in order to get them to be even, I'm putting them side by side. This way I can pretty much eyeball the placement and have them all look cohesive. So now for the most satisfying part of it all is removing that transfer tape to reveal the vinyl underneath, and we're going to follow this procedure for all 4 wooden decor pumpkin plaques. So now to follow suit, we're just going to continue pulling up that transfer tape off of each individual one of these wooden pumpkin decor plaques. And we're just going to continue to reveal the vinyl images. And this was just my little fun take on the whole COVID toilet paper crisis this year. And, sometimes you gotta laugh to keep yourself from crying. And when life gives you lemons, you make margaritas or lemonade, whichever your preference is. But I thought these came out pretty cool. And the beauty about them is that they're blank on the other side. So if you really wanted to, you could make them double-sided and you can spell out fall or home or whatever your preference is. So I thought that was a win-win as well. Going with the whole toilet paper crisis thing, I decided to toss in this little cherry on top of the cake bonus, if you will. I hardly call it a DIY, but I found this little LED nightlight at the Dollar Tree, and my first impression when I saw it was that it was begging me to take it home and add a decal to it. But that's just me and my way of thinking. So I decided, how cool is this? It's a nice blank slate. So I actually had something else in mind to put on it, but to tie everything all in and going with the theme of this video, I decided to use my cutting machine and cut out this little vinyl decal that says "You are the poop." And sometimes I have to remind myself that I am that. So like I said, in the interest of tying in this whole entire video theme together, I decided to create this little poop emoji decal to place on my LED nightlight. And so that's what I'm going to do. And this little nightlight is made of like a plasticky acrylic type material. So it really lends itself beautifully to any kind of decal. So I'm just going to press it down with my fingers first and give it a little scrape with my Cricut scraping tool and reveal my image. So now for the moment of truth and my favorite part, the reveal. So now I'm just going to pick up that transfer tape and expose my decal underneath, and there you have it, my little poop emoji guy. And this little guy is going to go right in my bathroom so that I can see my way at night and be reminded that I am the poop. So don't sleep on the Dollar Tree, guys. If you find these little LED night lights, snatch them up, because they're just made to be personalized, and you can personalize them to your liking and put whatever you want on them.